It is the world famous KROQ. I'm Megan Holiday, and today I'm here with Spressa and Cole of Flora Cash. How you guys doing?
Awesome.
Great.
Thank you for
Awesome.
having
How are you?
us.
I'm so good. I've been having a really good time hanging out with you guys before this interview
We
started.
had a lot of fun,
Yes.
yeah.
So
Yes.
I think we're off to a great start.
Good energy.
I think so.
Yeah,
too.
good energy for
Yep.
sure.
Should we talk about the picture?
I think we should. So when they came in, I was like, okay, look, they're gonna play a song, and I was like, when you guys play a song, I'm gonna go off camera, or I can just lay right here and like look at you guys like this, all creepily. So we actually made this photo happen. Which, if you go to our Instagrams, we're gonna put it up, and you
Yep.
guys can see this photo.
Totally.
It's pretty epic. It's pretty awesome.
It is awesome. I love
So
it.
I want to congratulate you on your success. You know, your song "You're Somebody Else" is it's on KROQ now. It's been added to a bunch of other radio stations, and you were on James Corden. Was that your first like big TV appearance?
Yes.
We do that all the time.
It's like, come
Yeah,
on.
it was our first.
Yes,
it was amazing.
It
Yeah.
was.
You
great.
guys killed it. It was so
Aw,
good.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Your sound is just, it's like so, I don't know. It's like there's an intimacy about it, and it makes me feel like sad and happy at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
That actually does make sense.
It
Yes.
does. Okay.
Yeah,
Probably.
that's kind of how
yeah.
we feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I really love it. So I know that you've told this story like a zillion times, but for our KROQ listeners, we have to go through the story about how you guys
course.
met on SoundCloud. So screw Tinder and screw all the dating apps, because SoundCloud is where it's at. So can you kind of
Absolutely.
tell us, the story of how you met
Yeah.
and how your relationship formed and stuff?
sure. Yeah.
So I was looking for some new music just to get inspired, and I clicked on Cole's name on SoundCloud and started listening to his stuff. And I felt like that was like one of the best things I've ever heard in my whole life. First of all, his voice, and also the lyrics were just so amazing. And so I commented on. First of all, I listened to all of the all of the songs on there, and commented. And then
so I noticed her comments because she commented on quite a few songs, and her feedback was like it was quite touching and nice. And then I clicked on her profile and I listened to some of her music, and we were doing kind of different things, but I think the soul of it was totally on the same wavelength. So I just felt like an instant connection to her music as well. And one thing led to another. We talked about we communicated after that on Facebook. I asked her to add me on Facebook.
and
I'll be
I
honest.
added him.
'Cause if I don't mention that, then she's gonna mention that. Yeah, but whatever. And so we talked about collaborating remotely, like sending each other files and that kind of thing.
Like a postal service kind of
Yeah,
scenario.
Exactly, except probably more digital. They sent tapes and stuff,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
way cooler. But
Ooh, that's cool.
but we were just going to do like WAV files and all that. But it's funny because then we started communicating on Facebook, and it gradually got more like, oh, tell me about yourself and la la la, and it got more personal. And we ended up not collaborating musically for a long time. But what we did do is we Skyped for 5 months, like day and night. And there's like a 7-hour time difference, so we would like leave the Skype on while the other was sleeping and all this. It was a little weird. Thank God it worked out, because otherwise it would have been the weirdest like thing to ever tell anybody about. Our
Yes.
families were genuinely concerned. Like,
Really?
Yeah, they really were.
Because we were spending so much time with either like on the phone with each other, like Skype, or on the computer. So
Yeah.
we would not do anything except for do school and shit like that. But
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine.
But then so finally she came to Minnesota, and we stayed there for 2 months, and then we decided to go back to Sweden together. And we lived there for a while, then lived in London for a while, super broke and poor. And we only lived there for immigration reasons, because we had to leave Sweden, but we couldn't afford to come back to the U.S. at the time.
Cole
we
had
lived
to
in
leave
London.
Sweden.
I had to.
Yeah, yeah.
You didn't. I had to leave Sweden. I could have gone to London alone or back home.
Ooh.
But but then we came back to America, lived there for a while, got married, and then we've been in Stockholm ever since. That's the
Oh,
short
gosh.
story. I
That's
love
the
that.
short story. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cute though. Like I love it. You guys, it's just like a classic, incredible love story.
Thank you.
So, at what point did you start collaborating on music, and how does your writing process kind of work between you two?
Well, first of all, we started working on music kind of fast when we met, but it was really hard.
When we met in person,
Yeah.
though,
Mhm.
that's
Oh,
when it
sorry.
actually started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was hard because we didn't want to, like, be, like sometimes when you write music, you can be bad at it while you're writing it.
Yeah,
It
of
might
course.
sound like oh or something, and we were like in love, so it was a little bit scary to do that in front of each other. But
Yeah, we wanted to impress each other
Yeah.
Right.
because that's how we found each other. So it makes it really hard to like suck.
Yeah,
You
well,
know?
music is so vulnerable.
It is,
You know,
yeah.
it's like you're bearing your soul, and
Actually, yes.
and you're like trying to form a relationship and look cool and all that. So.
Yes.
Exactly. So that was hard, but at the very end of that 2 months together in Minnesota, before we came back to Sweden, we finally finished a song, and it was called Somerset, and that was like the first complete song we actually wrote. And
But
the process.
Yeah, it's different. Like sometimes we do it right away together. Sometimes one of us starts something, and the other one joins. But we can get like really different opinions on stuff. So, like everything that makes it to the Flora Cash thing is really like thought through and discussed between us. Otherwise, we don't do it.
Yeah, it's like the compromise of our two opinions, and we actually, I love that more than I would, enjoy my own project that I didn't have her like checking me. So I think it's like I think it's good. Like we're very different people, so
Yeah.
whatever we get out of that, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So how did the name Flora Cash come about?
That is actually the only secret we don't share with people.
Okay.
That's our one
Okay.
secret.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll tell you. I'll whisper that later to you. Don't worry.
Sometimes Shressa will like tease these things and be like, I might tell you afterwards if you keep listening. And then, but I can just tell you FYI she's not going to say.
Okay.
So
How do you know? You don't know.
that's true. Maybe you just spill
You
the
never
beans.
know.
So I'm going to put you on the spot
Yes.
and ask each of you, what is the best part and worst part about being in a band with your significant other?
It's a good question, actually.
You can start with the worst. Then we end it. We can end it with good.
Okay. I would say the worst part is that I think in a good relationship you have to be honest, and it's a lot about communication, even if it's not always it's not always happy, because we're real people and we have different opinions about things. But I think we're less diplomatic than we would be if we were just bandmates. So like we can be brutally honest even when it comes to the writing and stuff, and not in a hurtful way, but like there's not as much of this kind of
Beating around the bush kind of thing.
beating around the bush. It's more like I
Straight up.
don't like that. I think that sucks. I think you can do better. Blah blah blah. Whereas I think maybe, and this depends. It depends on the people involved. But I think for me personally, if I was dealing with somebody that was just a bandmate, I would be a little more like, I would be less honest. And I think we've talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
I think
totally.
you feel
I
the
must
same
say,
way.
Yeah, actually.
Because
Yeah.
you can be very brutally honest as well. I don't want to give the impression that I'm the asshole or the butthead.
I can be brutally honest, but that's how I am.
Yeah. But what's the best part?
The best part, I would say that it's just that we always are together. Like I can not imagine myself doing this all alone, because I've never done this alone. So that's probably why. But I feel like I'm so lucky that we can, after a show or anything, we always have each other, and we can just hang out, do whatever we want.
That is nice.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do this alone. That's
No.
for sure.
Yeah.
And this is my best friend in the world. So yeah, that's the best.
Oh, I love
Yeah, I
that.
agree.
I love
I agree.
that. It's so cool. And I think it's amazing that you do have someone in your life that keeps you honest and that is brutally honest with you. Because I feel like I know when I can do better. And sometimes people will be like, yeah, you did a great job. I'm like, yeah, but it could have been better. And you want the greatest product. Like you want to make the best music that you possibly can.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So it's, as hard as it may be or difficult, it's a strength too.
Yes.
Totally agree.
I read in one of your interviews that you talked about anxiety and how like anxiety is so prevalent in our culture right now. And a lot of your music sort of touches on that being like a theme. So can you sort of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think I'm the one probably who struggles with anxiety more, and then I give her anxiety because of my anxiety. So she gets stressed about my stress. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that nowadays everybody just has a lot on their plate in a weird way. I mean, it is definitely like first world problems in many cases, so that needs to be said. But I just think, especially as a musician trying to make it, it's another one of those things where nowadays everything is so. You pretty much have to be able to do everything yourself.
Yeah.
to get to a certain point in your career, like because the bar to entry is so low with like, you know, producing or making videos or content, that you have to kind of be a jack of all trades, and there's still that enormous pressure to like be successful in something that you do, whatever it is. So all of these things for me, like you know, put me in a really weird place like a year and a half or so ago. And luckily I've come out of that, and part of it was the actual song that we wrote.
Yeah.
You're Somebody Else. That
Yeah.
was like at the peak of that kind of dark period.
Yeah. But something good comes from anything bad, I guess.
That's what
Because-
we've talked
but
about a lot as well.
I think also like, so we remember every time we get anxiety, there's a reflection on something, like telling us do something different, or like stop for a moment, or you know, I think anxiety can be good in some ways, even though it's really not fun to have anxiety. So yeah, just so we remember to just stop and rethink things. And
There's usually some kind of lesson attached
Yeah,
to it
I
in a
think
weird way.
Yeah. And in a way that sort of plays into the title of your last album, which is Nothing Lasts Forever, but It's Fine.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, in a way, how I feel about anxiety, is that because I have it too, you know, and that I know it's not going to last, and I have to tell myself, like, it's going to go away, you're going to feel better. And like you were saying, I love that, like how like maybe it's an indicator that you need to change something, or you need to do something different, or push yourself in some way, or you're on the brink of some success or something like that, you know?
can be anything. And I think, I think everybody has anxiety here and there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we're not alone. Everybody are in
Totally.
it. And we can now finally talk about it, because probably more taboo back in the day. I don't know.
More
But
taboo,
Yeah.
But now it's just like
and
an
I'm
open
like,
thing.
screw that. I'm like,
Yeah.
let's talk about it. Let's
Yeah.
get it out
Exactly.
there. You know, people
It's
need to know
important. Yeah.
mental health is important, you know?
Absolutely.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, are you already hard at work on new music? Or
Yep.
Yeah.
We are,
Always.
yeah. We actually, you know the way these things work. Like we don't know an exact date, but the plan is we have a song that we really, really love and feel good about. That's going to be coming in the early autumn. So that's pretty much guaranteed, and that will probably be part of an album. But yeah, we've got like at least an album's worth of material that's ready to go. Just needs to be chiseled a little bit.
Yep.
But yeah, we write all the time. So
Actually,
I'm sure
And-
you're like in hotel rooms. You're like, let's write a
Exactly,
song. Like,
yeah.
you know, in the van, let's write a song.
Yeah.
yeah, we spend all of our time together. So it's like, you know,
why not write?
it's something to do.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. And so you're going to perform a song for us today. Are you going to play You're Somebody Else?
Yeah.
Awesome.
This is a little more stripped back version, but
Oh, I'm excited about it. Was that a song that you feel like just flowed right out of you?
actually, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did you know?
I'm intuitive, you know?
You are.
It's kind of wild, yeah, because that was like one of those typical things that you hear about sometimes, but it was literally like less than 24 hours, I think, from conception to
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like some of the greatest songs, like when I talk to artists, it's always, they're like, yeah, I wrote it in like 10 minutes,
Yeah.
recorded it, and it was done, you know?
Yep, that's pretty
And
much it.
yeah, it's just so beautiful, and I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited to hear more music from you guys, and it's just been so lovely just getting to know you and talk to you today.
You as
Thank
well.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
It's been amazing.
Yeah, so Flora Cash, and I'm Megan Holiday, and it is the world famous KROQ.